need to check on Juno, okay? It's all good, Joey. Let me pull this back just a smidge. I'm stuck. Thanks, Lewis. Didn't see the comment there for a second, but it's a work in progress for sure. Thank you for commenting. All right. Didn't want to do that. That's better. Hey Mike, how's things going? It's been a little while. Yeah, Gordon, it's been a minute. Things are good. GSP still hasn't really opened back up to the way it should be. But yeah, things have been good. I did lose my auto feeder, so I no longer have my auto feeder anymore, which isn't a big deal, but it does make it so I have to feed by hand again, which is not, again, not the end of the world. It's just with an auto feeder, it's much less hands-on, more enjoyment kind of thing. But yeah, and if you're wondering, it's a pet bank. I think it was like $20, but yeah, not like it's the end of the world. I'll buy another one, but it just won't take a charge anymore, so something I gotta look into. Other than that, I've been fragging quite a lot. You can see the rack is still filled with Monties. And the Setosa got fragged. I gotta take another 2 or 3 frags off of that as well, because it's growing almost into the glass. Like I can't even put my scraper through there, so that's a good thing. It's not a bad thing, but let me see here. I liked and put another cases on. Not really sure what you mean there, Lewis. Mine works with my hydro system. How do you like your hydros? That's probably what I'm going to go with on my 80 gallon when I eventually get around to setting that up. I don't know. I've heard really good things about the hydros. But yeah, the tank's been doing really good. I don't want to say I've been neglecting it because I haven't been neglecting it. I just haven't been observing it every day like I used to do. Um, you know, summer and trying to enjoy the summer, play some golf with my buddies and working and all that. So it's been Reef summer mode has been put on the back burner, some would say.
So he's still frozen.
Aww, it's very nice.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. Mom's nice to you.
Look at all your big ketchup in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I got you one of every dinosaur.
Yeah. Yeah.
Alright. Go for it.
Mm.
Hot?
Alive. I bought it to run my water mixing station. I am not finished with setting up the mixing station. I just have an excess and wave engine on the tank running the wave pumps in temp. Nice. Oh, that felt good. You don't want to come back and...
So, what are you going to do this thing?
I don't know.
I'll do that tomorrow.
Okay. Temp skimmers, feeders. Yeah, I guess they can do like... What's it called? Like multiple systems, I guess? I don't know. Yeah, I heard they're wicked breezed setup too. That's one thing with the apexes. Like you got to go in and basically know how to code, I guess you would say. And I definitely do not know how to code, so it's a learning curve for sure. But that's what I heard about the hydros. Makes them super easy. It's just the fact that you can like set it up, and that, to be honest with you, that's how the apex should be as well. It shouldn't. You shouldn't have to go in there and change code lines to be able to run some of those. Ever thought of going corals only? Not really. Mostly because you'd have to dose nitrates and phosphates, and that's not something I'm looking for. I wouldn't say it's less work. This tank is little to no work. Feed the fish. I don't feed the coral. Do a water change once a week, and that's it. So, the fish help the coral by feeding the coral by pooping and doing that. You don't have to feed the coral to be able to have a thriving system per se, like food, but you should have fish in there, whether it be a utilitarian fish like taking care of algae, or a schooling fish to be able to help supply with nutrients. But you definitely need nutrients in the system to be able to have a thriving ecosystem with coral. So I don't know, in fish, a fishless system, just especially if you did like SPS, it just has no movement to it. I don't know, not something I'm really looking into. But if you're into that and you want to do a fishless reef with corals only, by all means do it. But just not my thing. Not something I want to do. The next system in the works is another mixed, more SPS dominant reef. Definitely probably will not be doing zoas again unless they are completely on their own on like a rock that I can move away. Just because it's hard to tell, but they smother the bases of the SPS, and I mean, I can kill them back a little bit, but it's just, they grow so fast. It's kind of crazy how quickly they'll repopulate back. Not only them, the Favia in the back. I have Favia. I've killed that back 4 or 5 times now, and it just keeps on coming back. And that was just started off as a fragment of another. It kind of grew on a rock, and when I rearranged the rocks, it had a small fragment, like half a mouth, and it's now, probably 40 or 60 mouths, and like I said, I've killed it back like 4 times. It just doesn't stop, so. But that'll be the next system. SPS dominant, 80 gallon. I'd like to do I don't know about a display refugium, maybe a display refugium, but I really do like refugiums. Especially if you do a display one, you can get a pretty cool variety of fish and inverts in there as well. So
Let's find him.
get him. Yeah, if you guys have any questions or comments, anything, you can just shoot them. Oh. If anyone is local to Maine and wants some bubblegum digifrags and some forest fire digifrags, as well as a regular old red Montipora frag and some Setosa, let me know. I have plenty of frag to be able to, and plenty more to be able to frag. So the Setosa especially, I gotta at least 3 or 4 off of that. I also have some what is it, purple monsters, I believe, right here and over here that need to be taken. Some more of those. I think those are fire and ice. That's what they look like anyways. I never got a real name off of them, but they do look like a fire and ice. Oh, water. Mm. Mm. I didn't bring it up. I guess not. It's all good. Thought I had my water up here, but I guess not. But yeah, everything's doing pretty good coral wise. The only thing that I'm having issues with is the GSP on the back wall, and I don't know exactly what's going on with that. It's just kind of like stalled out, I guess. Not that it's like a big worry, because GSP will kind of just come back from the dead and do its own thing, but other than that, SPS is doing really well. My mushrooms over on the back side, on the right side over here, you can see them reflecting off the glass on my fingertip. Those are split. The Bounce mushrooms, the sunskirt bounce, or sun-kissed bounce, I think is what they are. Those have not split, but they've grown, doubled in their size. The jawbreakers popping up everywhere. I think I have 6 of them over here now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, 6. The big one kind of overtakes everybody, but yeah, growing really good. Duncan has really come around from when it was stuck out back underneath the Setosa. Had to outpace some Aptasia that's popped up. But other than that, I mean, like I said, I haven't really looked at it that much, so I mean, I've looked at it, but not usually how I do, like, you know, a full examination during the day and make sure everything's kicking and all that. So did clean the pumps the other day. The pumps needed to be cleaned pretty bad, but that's a quick, easy fix, you know. Actually, I have my mixing bucket right now in some citric acid to be able to clean that up, cleaning the pump on that as well. My return pump quit on me last week, a few days before I was leaving for Chicago. Thanks to Top Shelf Aquatics and overnight shipping, I got it taken care of before leaving. Yeah, mine was actually having probably, I don't know, it's probably been 2-3 months now. Mine was having issues before that where it would like just stop working. Not when I turned it off, it could just be right in the middle of the work cycle and just stop. So I contacted Seawater and they gave me a new impeller pump, and it's been good so far. But I do have to clean that again. I just haven't done it yet. But yeah, it's a good thing that it happened before you went to Chicago, because having no return wouldn't have been, I mean, especially with your heater being down in your sump, probably no good there. Although up here in Maine so far it's been pretty warm, but yeah, you got a CJ. So CJ has a pretty good register your pump. I don't know if you did that yet, but you can register it. I mean, you can wait and register it right before you have to do a claim. That's what I did. Did it the night of me doing a claim, and they had no issues. So, but they told me exactly what needed to be. I told them what the issue was, what was happening. They sent me an impeller pump, and it's been great. So. Yeah. I mean, lately I have a what's it called? Battery operated fan that I just keep plugged in. It attaches to my arm for my light, and I've just had that running 24/7, mostly because I'm second floor of my house. And
You did it, Daddy.
nice job, bud. And it gets pretty warm up here. Like right now it's 77. So I just like to keep it, you know, low. And I did have a bit of a hiccup probably 2-3 weeks ago. I was doing a water change and I turned the fan off. Actually, I didn't turn it off. I unplugged it, not realizing. And then like 4 hours went by. And I just happened to, you know, something told me that I should look at my Apex Junior. I looked at my Apex Junior and the tank was at like 81.5 or 82, and I went upstairs to look, and sure enough I had it unplugged. So yeah, the extended warranty it's nice, especially considering I didn't pay for shipping or anything. They just sent me the part and it was golden. It was good to go. I definitely will be using a CJ if this one makes it to 5 years and like needs more than that, and it needs to be replaced. I'll replace it with another one.
still in me? In me?
Yep.
With the hydros, this was nice being away. I could keep an eye on things. Yeah. The temp is like, even if you just have some way of controlling, or not even controlling, but keeping an eye on the temp, that's like the biggest thing. One thing I like is I have a little camera that I can set up next to the tank and use that for viewing purposes. That's pretty neat. I'm not gonna lie. So if, you know, if down the road you want to look up something like an extra thing for the tank, a camera would be highly recommended. Just because it keeps an eye on things, you know, when you're away. You can obviously keep an eye on, like, you know, your temperature and your pH and stuff, but this really changes it when you have that camera. I think, yeah, that's YouTube for you. I wish it wasn't as blurry, but YouTube, for some reason, they don't make it so that you can, like, actually, you know, get a good view of the tank. This is about as good as you can get, unfortunately. Yeah, ring camera, they probably make, like, I use the Weiss cameras. That's the one I have. It's like a 360 whatever, but I just set it up whenever I'm leaving, and I have a little filter that I put on for it, for the, like, that orange filter, just so that the blue isn't so blinding on it. But yeah, you know, you can look at the pH and the temperature and stuff, but I mean, obviously, if you don't have anybody to come look at the tank, it's good to have something to be able to keep an eye on it. And the Weiss camera does great. I think they're pretty cheap too, so. Thank you, Rose. It's actually, the Reef is 1.5 years old now. As of this month, it is 1.5 years old. So, it's really coming into its, you know, mature stage, I guess you would say. But I try to keep it simple as well. As simple as possible is the best way I see to keep a reef. So. Yes, Gordon, I am on Facebook. I have a Facebook page. It's literally the exact same name on all social medias. So not all of them, but Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. I have all pages are the same name, Maine Reef. You can go check them out. Post mostly pictures and stuff. I haven't posted on Facebook in a hot minute, but I do have a Facebook page for it. And yeah, sounds good, Gordon. Thank you. Yeah, mostly on my others, I try to, not that I try to limit video, I just don't take as much video. I just posted one today, and like I said, just with summer this year, I've been actually able to be out and enjoy it. It's been raining, but it hasn't been raining so bad that you can't, like, you know, go out and enjoy the summer. So, but been busy, 2 kids and parties and all that. So, you know. You're amazing. Thank you. Okay.
chocolate milk, sir?
Do you have a Reef, Rose? Yeah, kids. If I could keep the kids entertained all day long without interference, that would be great, but you know. Got one of them in the room with me right now, but he's on the PC playing the Xbox, so. I hear you. Yeah, having a... That was one of my biggest worries when I was first getting into reefing, was having a saltwater system and basically on somebody else's property. Not that you know you can't be careful, because everybody can be careful and do it the right way, but you know, accidents happen, and manufacturers are always perfect when it comes to reef tanks, especially just like glass cages in general. So, but it's cool that you have a tropical setup. I've been thinking of setting up a native tank, like a native to Maine tank. That'd be pretty cool. Especially after today. We went to a birthday party for one of my friends' sons, and we caught some sunfish off the dock local. And they were only, you know, 3 or 4 inches, but that'd be pretty cool to see in a fish tank in your house, you know, a native fish. Especially if anything was to ever happen, it wouldn't be like down in Florida. Hey Vincent, honestly it's just too expensive here for me to set up marine. Where do you live? Sunfish are good. Yeah, they super colorful fish, like crazy colors on those. Super active as well, which is another thing that a lot of people I shouldn't say don't look for, but that's one of the things that a lot of people don't really notice too much. An active fish that swims around and stuff is pretty cool. Yeah, I live in Maine, so I'm basically Canada. That's the thing. Are you talking like, so South Africa, are you talking like the price of energy, or the actual lights themselves are expensive? Because like this light right here is 150 US on Amazon, so the lighting itself is not expensive, but I'm guessing you mean the energy is probably expensive, which if that's the case, then yeah. Oh, no way. So how much? So you should look up, I don't know if you can, but you should look up Night Crew Hyper Reef to see if how much those go for, because that's what's running this tank right here, is a Night Crew Hyper Reef. Knock on wood, haven't had any issues. I should probably blow it out. I haven't done that in over a year now. But it's a pretty good light for the price. So I know some of the other lights you're pushing, you know, $600 to $1,000, but I like to try and keep it budget friendly as much as I possibly can, and this Night Crew fits right into the budget friendly and the ability to grow coral. I actually thought about building my own light way back in the day when LEDs were first coming on the market, but it's just the price of this Hyper Reef, like, is, and the ability that it has to grow SPS coral. Like I I'm not gonna ever think about building a light. Like, these lights are insane. Like how good they are for the price. So, dang, that sucks. Sorry about that, Vincent. We don't get those here. I wonder. Are you just not able to import them, or what's like? Do they not sell them on the Amazon site, like because of your like what your address is, but your IP address being in South Africa is South Africa? I don't want to say the wrong thing. Yeah, South Africa. Because if that's the case, you could probably do like a VPN and have it set up to the United States, and then have your stuff. I don't know. That's a lot, but. Could probably also buy off. Could check eBay. If I had any for sale on eBay, I would definitely sell them to you. But my eBay store does not have any reefing stuff on it yet. Yeah, that's kind of what I figured. 600 to 1,000. Yeah, it's too bad that they don't, because these lights are. We got to figure that out for you, because there's no way that they shouldn't be able to be sold, you know. Oh, you don't get eBay either? Oh my goodness, dude. I got to travel more, figure out what you guys have and don't have. It's but yeah, these lights are for the price. There's also other ones as well. Not just night crews, but depending on the size of the tank, they make off-brand, what are they? They do make off-brand radions that work, so it's not that. Our government is just fucked up, yeah. Sorry about swearing, but I think everybody's government is effed up, unfortunately. We all have our bad parts and good parts. Some much more than others, but marine isn't that big here. Yeah, cost I imagine is pretty expensive. Especially like if you started like shipping corals or whatever. But if there is somebody local that has like a marine shop, you should ask them if they could ever import a night crew hyper reef just to like test it out, or even just for you, to try it out if you do want to get a marine tank. Because you can do it pretty cheaply, especially like if you follow anything that I do it as cheap as possible. So, but not in the U.S., potentially in Calgary. I work for a Canadian company. I mean, I definitely live here in the U.S. You could send it to my house and then I could ship it to you if that's something you wanted to do, but. The whole thing is the hobby here is built off the enthusiasts. Yeah. The people that are willing to spend, for the name brand, I guess you would say. Because it's not, it's not entirely needed. The name brand is 100%. Tank just switched to full blues, so that's 100% blue right there. Yeah, there's quite a bit of variety here. as well. Maine, I wouldn't say Maine so much. I think stores wise, we probably have less than 5. But if you go further, we have, the ability to have corals and fish shipped right to your door within 2 days. So that's pretty cool. So there are probably 4 to 5 decent shops nationwide that are geared toward the hobby, and then basically everything else is private. People, garages, homes, bread, etc. The big box stores are horrific. Yeah, I don't go to big box stores as much as possible. It's just not worth it. A lot of people where I live do the hobby trading, and mostly just because the closest place to me is probably 2 hours away, so I'm not really in the mindset of traveling 2 hours to go to a fish store that's possibly not going to have something that I'm looking for. So a lot of the SPS in this tank have been swapped between a local reefer and myself, and ordered offline and just shipped to my door. It's unfortunate that it's like that, but it's just easier, so WhatsApp groups, yeah. Thanks, Vince. Yeah, it's a 1.5 years old, so it's been chugging along. It's a Fluval, 13.5 gallon. It's a nano, basically almost a pico. That's how small it is. If you go off of total water volume, it's probably a pico. I think there's only 9 gallons, so it really is small. If you want to do something like that, I don't know what 40 centimeters is in inches, because we are, we're America, so everything's backwards. We do it all in inches, and but you could look into a Hello Reef, see if they have something that's available for you to purchase for the Hello Reef kits. That comes with rock, it comes with a light, it comes with everything, so you could definitely do a clownfish setup with that, I bet. So, wow, I should look into that. I sent you a Facebook video, send some pics of my tank. Yeah, definitely, Gordon. If you got some pictures, I'm always down to see pictures of people's tanks. It's the coolest thing. See everybody's builds and stuff. I should look into that. We would rather have our tanks custom built locally than buy the fluvals, etc. They just wild in pricing. Yeah, I can understand that. But the Hello Reef one, I think the Hello Reef lights, tank, rock, comes with salt, comes with a tester for your salinity, and I believe nitrate and phosphate tester. I believe that comes in at right around 500 US, so you'd basically be, to me it's a good deal, but it might not be that, that good of a deal in Africa, South Africa. 40 cm equals 15 inches. Thank you for that conversion. My slow US brain of being able to convert, inches into centimeters. That's pretty cool. What's up, Cat? Why'd you say oops? But thanks, Cat. 250 liters per week. That'd be pretty cool, especially coming right from the aquarium. That's what you said, right? I think so. Yeah, local aquarium. Whew. I know. the people in like Australia and stuff that live on the coast, they're able to do like, you know, go out and grab water to be able to do it. Oh, it's so great. Like that. You want to talk about making the perfect ecosystem? You're literally just taking water right out of your local reef and just putting it on into your tank. That would be so cool. Yeah, we use both metric and imperial, and Canada kind of got used to it. Yeah, like the most metric thing we use here in the States is like tools. And that's just because the cars are not always made here, so we have to use metric. But like when it comes to measurement of anything, we do not use metric on anything. It's all inches and feet and miles, and you know, you go anywhere else and you're lost. Yeah, the water is perfect. All the guys here use it. That's cool. Like I live in Maine, so I live probably 2.5 hours away from the coast. So theoretically, I guess I could get water. The problem is it's cold, so it's not really, you know. I'm sure my levels are way different. I've never even tested the Maine local, you know, salt water. So, but. They have some pretty heavy laws too on what they can import and stuff as well. So like they can, you know, we take for granted have the ability to have like certain corals here. Like they can't get certain corals in Australia because they don't allow them to import them. So like if it's not local, they can't have it. But here in the States, we import from pretty much everywhere, and have the ability to be able to get some pretty crazy coral here in the States. Like even the things we take for granted, like a Florida Rocray mushroom, nothing crazy, but like in Australia, that's something pretty cool to have if you have the ability to have it. Uh, 2 hours away, I could never need to be close to the ocean. I mean, that's close enough for me. It's more, especially where I live, it's more of, I guess you would say, busy living towards the ocean. Like up here in Maine, I pretty much live in the woods, so I'd be wary of some microorganisms from the wild. Oh, 100%, yeah. I mean, I love the beach, but I don't like the hustle and bustle of the beach that Maine is. Maine's coastline is like a very rocky coastline, so the beaches are very packed when they are like open, especially during like beach season, like Maine is in right now. But I mean, there are some hidden gems where you can go check them out. That's for sure. But we also have plenty of ponds and rivers around where I live, where we can, if you want to technically go to a beach, you can, go to a sandy beach at one of the ponds or lakes. And the only thing is, it's not salt water, so. But our salt water is also cold. I love Fort Foster, Maine. Never been to Fort Foster. But there's plenty of places in Maine that I have not been to. Definitely need to check out a bunch, because Maine is one of those places that has so many different environments in it all at once. Like, it's pretty cool to be able to see. I'm not saying, like, doesn't have like Florida tropics in it, but we are fortunate. We have about 10 to 12 high quality beaches, so the people get spread evenly, so it's never too crazy, and there are a lot smaller beaches that are kept secret. That's pretty cool. That's pretty much, I mean, even up here, like where I live, like on a nice hot day, You know, you go to the beach, to a local lake or pond beach, and it's pretty packed. And if you went to the ocean beaches, I mean, if you're not there at like sunrise, you're not getting parking within 3 miles of the beach. Um, Maine is a very big tourist state where people, you know, love to come up and enjoy the coastlines and flaunt the amount of money they have, I guess you would say. But it's not an easy thing for, you know, Mainers to be able to go enjoy their actual beaches. It is a lot of out of state people and people who are tourists and traveling, and it's a big part of the economy here too. But brother lives in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, not too far from there. Yeah, not very far at all. I live in the western Maine mountains, so hot water, cold water. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, we have the rivers, which are spring-fed rivers, which even right now it's not very cold. We just got home from a lake today that is a shallow lake, and it was probably like the temperature of bath water. That's no exaggeration. But we have very many local lakes and spring-fed brooks that are around here that you can swim. And then if you go to the ocean is cold because it's, you know, in Maine and it's the Atlantic, so.
There it is.
Somebody back. What is it? You
Yeah.
good? Nothing wrong with it. Yeah, no. Maine mountains are beautiful. One of my favorite places to be. The mountains in New Hampshire too. I mean, beautiful places. Went to Old Orchard Beach. Water was so cold it hurt to be in the water. Yeah. Old Orchard Beach is one of the beaches in Maine that is... It's almost not even fun to be at because the amount of people that are there. Packed is an understatement. Cold water, yes, very cold. We went 2 weeks ago to Old Orchard, and the water was freezing cold, but it was also like, I think we had like a new moon, so we had high tides, and there was like the rip currents that were there. I mean, we don't have terrible rip currents, but for Maine, the rip currents were crazy. It was fun to be in, but I mean, you could only be in the water for like 15 minutes, and then you had to come out to get warmed up, because if not, you'd just start chattering. Yeah, water's deadly. Water is very deadly. Especially up here in the winter. Like, the water up here in the winter is... It might be frozen, but a lot of people have fallen through from either doing, like, ice fishing or snowmobiling, and, you know, the water is no joke, especially when it's in cold temperatures. Yeah, I mean, we do the same thing here in Maine. We do polar bear dips. We do, you know, tons of people jump through the ice and all that stuff, but I mean, a lot of people think Maine is basically Canada anyways, so. Yeah, we see frozen water quite often here in Maine. Actually, we'll be seeing it in a couple months, to be honest with you. A Lots of snow, lots of ice. It's just the way it goes. -40 Celsius. Yeah, that's crazy. That is crazy. Yeah, I think the coldest I've seen Maine was negative. I think it was like -20 Fahrenheit. And we had a pretty decent wind chill as well. Like, basically only go outside if you absolutely needed to. You know. Maine does get pretty cold. I mean, other places obviously get much colder, but not a chance in hell. -40, no way. "14 blankets with a heater bumping." Yeah, it definitely depends on the humidity. Humidity is the biggest factor here. Probably is in Canada as well. Like during the summer, you know, our humidity is ugh. Like we've had a break in the humidity the last few days and it's been super enjoyable. Super enjoyable. When you can have the windows open at night and it feels nice and cool in the house, like, oh, that makes the world a difference. It's when you have to have the AC on all night long because the humidity is just so gross and sticky. No thanks. Anything under 20 is cold.
Wait, your camera? Your parents?
Yeah, I mean, the funny thing is like you live here in Maine, right? And you go all winter long, and then as soon as it starts, you know, averaging above 0 Celsius or 32 degrees Fahrenheit, like that's like t-shirt and shorts. Like a lot of people are wearing t-shirts and shorts, so. All right, Rose. What do they got? What's 30 in Fahrenheit? 30 Celsius to Fahrenheit. That's going to be what? 80, 90, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, I'm good with 100 degrees. Wait, no, thanks. Yeah, well, that's Americans for you. They're not exactly the smartest people, you know. Hate to say it. I'm one, but I definitely don't think people in Africa still hunt lions, live in huts, and don't have water. But, you know. Yes, Canadians definitely live in igloos, and Mainers that live in Maine ride moose. So. For some reason, a lot of people think we ride moose around here, and I don't understand that. But of course you do, 100%. You got to use the giraffes for ladders. Yeah. Yeah, I figured you ride moose up in Canada. Like I said, we're basically Canada. That's what everybody in the United States thinks, is that Maine is basically Canada anyway. So, you know, I'm sorry, eh? Can't believe how big those damn things are. What do you think, moose or a boot sorry, eh? Yeah, that was my best impersonation of a Canadian. So, the key with moose, if you're gonna hit them with a car, is if you see them and they decide not to move out of the road, is to actually accelerate into the legs. This is the weirdest thing. But at least it will take out the legs and go over the car. Now, if you slow down, that thing's landing right on top of you. And I know a lot of people are probably thinking, what the hell's wrong with me? But it's true. If you have a car and the moose is standing in the middle of the road and you notice it at last second, accelerate through. At least you'll go underneath it. Best chance you'll go underneath it. It won't end up in your lap right next to you if you slow down. They are very big. Canada's are much bigger than Maine's, but, you know, when you walk through the woods and you actually see a moose, you know, and it's surprising how easily they can walk up on top of you in the middle of the woods without making a noise. That's something that is, it's unseen. I've never seen anything like that before besides the moose, but that's what they say about hitting deer with a motorcycle, too. Yeah, accelerate through. I mean, at least with a motorcycle, if you hit a deer, this sounds morbid, but if you accelerate through it, you're going to split it. It sounds terrible, but you'll split it. I shouldn't be laughing about it, but that's to survive motorcycle accident in a deer, that's what you should do. And if you see a moose and you can't avoid it, you might as well lay that thing down, because you can go right underneath a moose with a motorcycle, so. You are more likely to be hijacked or robbed than hit an animal in South Africa. That sucks. That is terrible. I'm sorry about that. We have so much roadkill up here. It's kind of insane. Yeah, don't hit a moose here. It's like running into a fridge. Yeah, you got to accelerate through it. Make it go over the top. That's what they say. It depends on how big your car is. You're fucked if you're yeah, if you drive a truck, I mean, that thing's gonna lay right down into you. But if you're in a car and you have the ability to accelerate, take its legs out. But yeah, up here we have a lot of deer that get hit. Not so much other like animals, but deer are. We get a lot of deer hit.
Huh?
Hey. Hey. It's all good, buddy. You got this. It's just a video game. We got it. Raccoons. Get a lot of raccoons. Almost never see bear, black bear. But, yeah, he's frustrated at the Xbox. He's playing some Star Wars Legos. Yeah, Alaska moose that's different. We have some big moose here in Maine, but like especially when you consider like the size of the antlers and stuff, our moose do not compare whatsoever. Bigger tank is still in the works, Gary. Haven't really had time to get the supplies together to build my stand yet, but it's kind of on the back burner at the moment, but yeah. Yeah, we have black bear everywhere around here. Black bear's right in the backyard. They'll come right in your yard. Coyotes, foxes, you know, everything like that. Deer, moose. Moose will walk right across the yard here where I live. But we don't really have to worry too much about, like, animals wise, like, but brown bears are more chill. Black bears are, they don't mess around. They'll get right up in your space. Brown bears are much more out in the wild. Black bears will walk right in your backyard. So, not that they don't in, like, other, you know, other states like Alaska and all that, or probably even in Canada, but from what I've heard is brown bears are much more chill than black bears. Yeah, black bears don't mess around. They call them dumpster bear for a reason. Those things will go find wherever the food is, and they don't mess around. If you see a black bear, be on caution for sure. Yes, you can get severely ill from eating certain bear, especially most bear are full of worms because they eat trash, especially black bear. I'll never eat bear because of that. But a lot of, like, even here in the state of Maine, when it comes to bear hunting, there's many different ways that people do it. They have, like, dogs where they can, like, you know, send the dogs out into the woods and the dogs will find the bear and they'll tree a bear for them. Or they can go the baiting route, which is basically people's throwaway trash. Like, people will literally go to Dunkin' Donuts and take all of the donuts that have been thrown in the dumpster and they'll put them in bait buckets out in the middle of the woods where these bear are, and the bear will just come to them. It's crazy. Yeah, but even, like, I don't know. I mean, we don't have brown bears, so I can't really say anything, but black bears wise, no. I'm not getting close to that. Not that I'm getting close to a brown bear either, so. I like to keep my distance from all wildlife because they are much more powerful than I, and you never know what they can do. I've eaten bear. I don't eat bear anymore, but when I was a kid, I have eaten bear. Yeah, trash pandas. It's dude, they literally love trash. Like, it blows my mind how much bears love trash. You can have, more than likely, if something gets into your trash, like out here where I live, it's probably raccoons, which is basically a mini bear anyway, or a bear itself. Skunks, very rarely. It's almost always raccoon and bear. Yeah, I don't want to come face to face with either bear, brown bear or black bear. I'm good with either one of them. A trash panda is a raccoon. Yeah, raccoons up here, they can be pretty brutal. We had one when I lived in southern Maine that was literally bigger than the top of my trash can lid. Like, he used to rip the trash can lid off, and I had it secured down. Like, probably wouldn't have fit in a have-a-heart trap. Yeah, just raccoons are nasty little creatures. Well, guys, I probably only got like 5 more minutes. I gotta go downstairs and I gotta eat something. But if you guys want and you like the video, you can send some likes or check out any of my other social medias. They're all the same name, Maine Reef. So you can go on to all of them if you want to send me a message like Gordon's going to send me a message on Facebook. But yeah, I'm always down to talk reefs. I'm always down to talk anything. I probably should be doing a little bit better about putting out videos every week. I've been very slacking on that, but I try to do a live as much as possible, because this is, you can get as many questions in as, you know, to help people out if they need help, or if they just want to talk like a lot of you guys are doing, which is perfect. But yeah, I'm probably going to cut it short here. I got to get some food in me. We had a long day and I haven't eaten yet, and got to eat. So thanks, Vince. Appreciate you too. Have fun down there in South Africa. Thanks, Rose. I'm going to try and have some good food. I don't even know what I'm eating yet, but I'm going to figure it out. You guys have a good night, and I'll be back soon. Later. Not eating bear.